Welcome to my YouTube channel, my crafty YouTube channel. I'm Kristen Jeffers, and I'm so excited to be here in your YouTube queue, or at least, however you found this. The one thing I do the most is crochet, but this isn't going to just be a crochet channel. This is a DIY journey channel. I have been doing some kind of craft since really like a lot of kids, growing up in Greensboro, North Carolina, in the shadow of like the textile mills in the 80s and 90s. Like by then, yes, we still had mills. They hadn't moved away yet. But in my case, I had a mom who sewed all of my baby clothes. Later on, she would help me sew my prom dress. And she introduced me to crafting through plastic canvas. So one Christmas, I believe it was 1993, I made plastic canvas toys. And that was my Christmas present to my aunts on both sides of my family. So that was my first crafty. And then my first real fiber craft. Well, actually, plastic canvas is a fiber craft because you basically, for those of you who aren't familiar, you basically sew yarn over like a plastic netting. You may see some purse makers on here do that. So I started with that. I also had the little tabletop loom. And so that's when I first used a crochet hook. Plus, watching my mom sew with all these wonderful printed patterns, everything from quilting cotton up to like jacquards, because occasionally she would sew for people in our community. Now, my mom was, for a while, she was a stay-at-home mom, and then she went back after my parents split up to be a classroom teacher. And I'm an only child, so our first sewing project together was like for my fourth grade class picture. Or is it fifth grade? Yeah, it was fifth grade, for my fifth grade class picture. This was the 1990s, and my 10-year-old self wanted a shiny backed vest, or waistcoat as some of you call it in other places. So I had that shiny satin royal blue back, and I had this lovely these little bears dressed up as bumblebees. And if you go on my Instagram, you'll see a little bit of that pattern, because my mom still had scraps of it. And when we were making cloth masks to protect ourselves in the early days of COVID, she made me a set. And so I still have it. And still, sometimes I still wear my cloth mask when it's more of a thing of I need a mask to clean around the house with. Either way, on this channel, you'll get me talking about my life like this, talking about my crafting life. You might know me in another realm of talking about living in the city, defying gentrification. You might know me from my newsletter, Defying Gentrification, Crafting Liberation. And so more on this side, we're on the crafting liberation side. And so you'll see videos where I go into why I'm doing this and how this is reclaiming ancestral practices. This is linking me to that lineage of crafting with my mom, with the tabletop looms, with the sitting underneath her, watching her sew on her Kenmore sewing machine. Then later on assisting with making not just my little bear vest, but my senior prom dress in 2004 and my choral dress the year prior. And then for me as a, professional interested in like social justice, public policy, like Black liberation, queer liberation, disability justice, all those things, and how those things show up in my life, and how crocheting has given me some joy in that. So this channel will have some how-tos. This channel will have some where-tos. Like I talk about openly where I shop and how, because I do believe that that's very important in supplying ourselves. And then finally, I will also have some vlogs. In fact, you can go see how I've been preparing for frock tales and other events that come up that I actually do make things for. So basically, I got to kind of go back to prom with my partner. And oh yes, my partner Les is very prominent. I have made clothing for her. I usually make clothing for Pride. And you'll see me with some of our other favorite like sewing and crochet like craftfluencers, because this is one of my favorite communities. And of course, in over on my other channel, I talk a lot about building communities beyond culture loss and other forms of gentrification. And so here on this channel, you will get the nitty gritty of how I am claiming my space with fiber. So if you like that, if this is fun for you, if you want to stay around, please stick around, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications of when I am doing things. And yes, I have a Patreon. I actually have a Patreon level that's specifically for you all who are fans of Chris Pattern. It's the Chris Pattern Fiber Art Crafty Club. You can find it on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/Kristen E. Jeffers, you can find it over there. Wonderful way to support me in addition to subscribing and watching. Of course, please, at the time of filming this, I am not monetized yet, so please watch and help me get there so I can do even more fun and crafty things. So welcome, and let's get the crafting together.